Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the First Line. From the first line, from the fourth line. Jesus, this is what happens when Mar interrupts my intro. Well, welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my now in pain co-host, Marcie.
Hello.
Marcie, why don't you tell everyone the story of what happened to you this weekend, as to why you now are currently very much in your I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say something and I was like, no, shouldn't say that. But why we had to put out a tweet the other day.
Yeah, so as was stated on the From the Fourth Line official PR Twitter, um I sprained my ankle. I was supposed to be at a lovely little field hockey weekend tournament. It was like a nice little end to the season, a bit of fun. It started on Friday. I played 2 games Friday night. Later on Friday night, someone from one of the other teams thought it'd be a really good idea that when me and my friend were just stood talking to them, to put his leg out right behind me, physically grab me, and push me over, which resulted in me sat on the ground at 2 a.m. with ice on my ankle, crying because I thought it was broken. Which then resulted in having to pay £15 for an Uber to the hospital so I could get it x-rayed. Not broken, just sprained. I have so much more respect for Joseph Wall because how the fuck did he get through this? I can't even
He
walk up the
also
stairs.
probably was given some heavy painkillers.
Yeah,
from Lee's medical stats.
I was
and also is wearing the foot brace he was meant to wear.
I wasn't fucking given a foot brace. I was given a leaflet that said you should ice it.
But you said you had a brace.
No, I'm having to buy one.
Mm.
I was given a leaflet that said ice it every now and then also probably take some painkillers.
Yeah, he's receiving top of the line medical care.
Yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not me shitting on the NHS because I'm very, very happy that I don't have to pay for medical care. However, if I am sat in the A&E waiting room sobbing for 6 hours because I can't feel my foot properly, you should probably give me something stronger than just give me something. Never mind. Take some painkillers when you get back. Girl, I have not slept in 36 hours. I need drugs.
Also, for those who don't speak British, A&E is the ER, and not like I thought, a British grocery chain. In my defense, that text had a typo, and it was 1:30 in the morning. There was no logic running through my brain as to why you would be in a British grocery store at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, I tell you what, though, the smoking areas in A&E are genuinely, you meet the funniest people.
So that was a very fun FaceTime for me to have at 1:30 in the morning.
What more do you want? But yeah, so now...
Of course, you called me before you even called your mom, too.
She was in bed. She was asleep. She wasn't waking up till 7:30. She had her alarm set. So yeah, I went back to the hockey tournament and I sat there. I camped. I still camped. I was big and brave. Mainly because I paid £40 for the whole weekend, and that's £40 I wouldn't get back if I just went home. But yeah, now I have a week to get my ankle to not look like a melon because it is still really swollen. Because I have 3 weeks on an archaeological dig starting Sunday.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why we're taking a break. from the podcast. But yeah, I come to like it's you think about it, the Leafs had to do like this happened to the Leafs 3 times last season. I was explaining because I was telling Simon this because I was like, yeah, no. And then I was telling his parents about it too. I hope you feel better soon, by the way. And I was like, yeah, this happens at least 3 times. Timothy Lilligren, Joseph Wool, and Mitch Marner.
It's so shit. Yeah, wouldn't recommend.
Yeah,
Because
I don't think they would either. I don't
can't
think
wear
those 3
shoes.
guys would
I'm
either.
currently having to resort to wearing flip-flops if I have to leave the house because
That's
my ankle
unfortunate.
is so swollen it will not fit into a shoe.
That's unfortunate.
Mm.
You know, wonder now I'm like thinking of like the TV shows they probably got through. How much TV have you watched in the last day and a bit?
You know what? I can't say a lot, mostly just because I've just slept the whole time because I'm exhausted from how just emotionally draining this weekend has been. So I'm catching up on sleep. And I've also
Jesus. We were in such high spirits at the end of Thursday's episode too. Like it's like
I
we come
know
back and we're like, by the way,
I'm
Marcie's gotta go on LTIR.
but yeah. I
um
fingers you'll everyone will get updates on my ankle because I
yeah,
spend
it's
so much
like
time on Twitter.
at least you guys will be getting more updates on this ankle than we got on the other
Mm.
like the Leafs ankle injuries.
We should do like a from the fourth line blueprint. It's just and it's just me vlogging my misery.
Ooh, like, and then you give some like nice-esque room tour. Like
Mm.
when he toured his apartment.
I'll just be like,
It's like, look, I am not like look, proof I'm not living in John Tavares' basement anymore, so you guys can stop asking.
I'll just be like, this is my Lego. These are my books.
This is my Joseph Wool jersey.
This is my Joseph Wool jersey.
Uh,
Like that's the pile of teddies in the corner of my room that's been there for years. I'm never moving.
yeah.
All the
Well,
wall.
you know, at least then, you know, you can entertain us in the meantime
Mm.
among various things. Leafs wrapped up their prospect camp yesterday. With a scrimmage that I actually watched. I had it on. It was actually I didn't realize that I had missed watching hockey so much until I'm like, oh, I'll turn on this prospect scrimmage, whatever. Maybe probably won't pay too much attention to it. I was so invested. I was so
Mm.
invested. It did feel a little bit unfair because Team Blue was rolling a line of a forward line of Moldenhauer, Minton, and Cowan, which is diabolical and unfair. And then they also had a pairing of Ben Danford and Noah Chadwick. So I do have
Ouch.
some notes that I took through watching. So my first one is like the chemistry between Cowan and Minton, absolutely unreal. There was
Beautiful.
a gorgeous goal by Cowan that was like right. Minton took the draw and it was like right off the draw. Gorgeous. And then after they did their little media availability afterwards, and Cowan said it was like, oh yeah, no, Minton pulled me aside before he took the draw and was like, watch, I'm gonna pass it right back to you, so get ready right off the draw. I'm gonna win this one.
Stop.
So obviously the chemistry is there. I'm really excited to when we get like a closer, like some more in-depth of look at the two of them together at at training camp and then also as well at some preseason games. I want one thing. Craig Berube, this is a message directly to you. If there's one thing that I want is at least one preseason shift. All I'm asking is one preseason shift. Give me
Just
45 seconds of a line of Nyes, Minton, and Cowan. I just want to see it. I want to see it because it's not just me going kid line. Yes, let's put all the prospects on one line and watch them have fun. It also is like, it makes sense logically to put those three players together on a line. And like, because Nyes is he's that net front guy. We saw him battle in the corners this past season, right? Like, he is the bigger body on that line, right? Big guy. Minton is that two-way forward, right? You know, that he has a wicked shot. We'll take the draws. And then Cowan is just like Mitch Marner light. And
he's
is absolutely ridiculous. And he has a nasty shot as well. Like, I just want to see it. It worked. Like, that is how you build a line, yes. And I want to see it like one preseason game, please. Just one. Please. Now it's way too soon to say if either Minton or Cowan will make the team out of camp. Like, it's too soon to say. Cowan has another year of eligibility, so he can go down to London.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Getting a visitor.
Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, Cowan has another year of eligibility for junior, so he can play another season in London. Which, who knows if he will? He might. Who knows? Minton is out of his. Yeah, because he just turned 20. I think that he also is then out of his eligibility. I don't know where the cutoff date is though, because he just turned 20 like 2 days ago.
Which is still like, it still baffles me. I'm like, how are you achieving all this age 20? And I'm sat spraining my ankle and recording a podcast.
Not overtime rules. No, stop doing that. I want overage rules.
But I just need to see them.
Okay, so yeah, so teams, they can only with the odd player turning 21 before the season is completed. But teams only have the ability to carry 3 overage players, so 3 20-year-olds, like that have turned 20 when the season starts, on their roster. And so I would have to look deeper into like Saskatoon's roster and look and see but if not, he also has his ELC signed, so he can play for the Marlies in the AHL, which I think seems to be like if he doesn't make the team out of camp, he plays for the Marlies. That seems to be the consensus, which makes sense. But so it's so hard to say at this point because it's July 8th. And we saw dev camp, right? Like, we haven't seen any preseason games, like, you know, and it's, unless, you know, we're not really at dev camp. I think the only truly true look that as fans and not members of like the media, because we were not there at dev camp, saw was like the scrimmage, which was not very full contact. Like, there was a little bit of like, but there was no checking, essentially. Like, there was no hitting, right? So it's hard to say, but I would like to at least see like a preseason line of those 3. I think it's very cool.
And it's like those 3 together,
besties,
absolute menaces, like
besties. They get like little like TikTok weasels.
just do it for funsies. We just want the vibes. Good vibes, and good goals.
Yeah, and also as well, like, I don't know, what was I gonna say about like how they spoke, like, it was like, it seemed like Minton and Cowan were like very much like the leaders through that dev camp, and there was like the elite group, which contained them, and then there was like the everybody else group, which sounds really mean to say.
Oh my god, it's Mean Girls.
But it's like it was like very much like, and it was just more in like the fact of like in drills and stuff, like it was Count and Minton paired together, and then when there was a drill that required 3 people, then Moldenhauer was with them. So you could kind of see how that played out and things like that, which is fairly typical for dev camps and stuff. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Count and Minton. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to add. They both had 2 nasty shootout attempts.
And
They're
I'm
both
mad.
gross and just cruel.
I'm so mad I missed it, but I was like, nothing.
10 a.m. for me, so it was like what 3 p. Actually, no, that is like prime nap time.
It's prime nap time, and B, I'd like just got back from
Yeah, I was gonna
quite
say,
possibly
wait,
the least enjoyable weekend of my life so far.
yeah, it is. It was 3 p.m. is prime nap time.
Love a
Ben,
good 3 till 5 p.m. nap. Oh.
uh, Ben Damford, who was the Leafs' first round pick this year. I was very impressed by him offensively. He had a gorgeous feed to Holinka. That was like half of the ice to Oster pass. It was gorgeous. But yeah, he impressed me. He was there. He was very solid. The blue line was very good at having he had an impressive offensive side to his game, and then also was very responsible defensively. I think he just had like one turnaround along the boards, which you may not necessarily see that if they like in a more physical game scenario. But very impressed by him. He was mostly paired up with Noah Chadwick, who was the Leafs' 6th round pick last year, who signed an ELC very, very quickly with the team. So yeah, and then that brings me to Holenka, who he stood out from the rest of the product because there was, like I said, there was like that elite group of like, the ones where you're expecting them to stand out because they are just that top tier of prospects. And then there was like the rest. And Holenka was in that like was thought to be in that like rest group, but he actually very much stood out from the rest of the prospects. He scored twice during the scrimmage, and also as well, apparently, this is I think Haley Wickenheiser said this, where it was like, yeah, we had other teams, reaching out to us after they saw like him being like, oh, actually, you know what, that's a steal at the draft. So
Looking
good. Yeah, it was that. Those are my notes from prospect from dev camp for the Leafs.
Yay.
Hey, that's just some things I picked up on. So yeah, in other prospect news, I think this is kind of a big deal. I think because this is like maybe the most talked about ELC, like potential ELC signing of of the past couple weeks, has been Will Celebrini. Will Celebrini go back to BU? And the answer is no. He signed his ELC this past week with the San Jose Sharks. He will not return to BU in the fall, meaning he will make his professional debut. Whether he plays, like, I don't see a problem with him starting with San Jose, so that would be Barracudas. That's not necessarily like a problem, right? Development is different among players. He made the choice he wants to go pro, which is perfectly acceptable. Um, and he did say he was like after like he took his time in deciding, and he was like, I kind of, had my exit meetings and was like, that's when I kind of knew that this was the decision I had to make and this was the thing. So I mean, I will be excited to watch him play at any level. He's a very exciting player to watch. And I will say that a team that has him and Will Smith on it is absolutely horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, watch out for the Sharks in the way that they might not be the worst.
Yeah, maybe they'll win more than like. How many games did they win last season?
Not very many.
Not a lot. It was a very low number because I
It was
remember.
less than 30.
Yeah, I have a number in mind, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong.
Oh, it was 19.
Yeah, I was that. You know how bad that is? Is I was about to say, oh yeah, like maybe they'll win more than 19 games next season, and then I was like, surely they won't. Like, that's really low. Surely they won more than 19, but no.
They had
Yeah.
a 150 goal differential. That's gross.
Ooh. Anyway, yay for child labor.
Yeah, so maybe they won't finish dead fucking last. Pardon
No,
my French there on that one.
but yeah, put the children to work, make them save the team.
So yeah, actually I'm sorry. I'm looking at these numbers and like I can't say anything because I was a fan of the Leafs through like the really, really bad years.
Mm,
But like
it's bad.
only winning like your team only winning 30 games a season. I'm talking about the Montreal Canadiens, by the way.
Mm. Like,
Jeez. Ugh.
ouch.
Gross. Nah, that's so gross, man. Like,
Oh dear.
anyways, I'm not gonna be mean anymore about bad teams because people are gonna be like, well, Cope, you like, oh, how many rounds have you won?
Yeah,
How
we'll
many
get
rounds?
1967. It's like,
Shut up. Like, I'm like, that doesn't like do anything. Anyways, I'm like, yeah, okay. Um, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm looking at. I wanna hold on. Look at their roster for like this season because I there's they've got like theoretically they've improved,
mm,
right? In theory they've improved, right? Because they've added Barclay Goodrow, which I don't know if you'd call that an improvement, but
it's a change.
the change. They like they've added Tyler Toffoli, Jake Wallman, Alex Wenberg.
Mm,
Like
yeah. Oh no, I need
I
to
don't
sneeze 1 second.
know. I don't know. I just think that they potentially could win more games than like they did
Mm,
the year before. I don't know,
yeah.
like Logan Couture will come back.
Mm,
I forgot they had Vitek Vanacek, who was hurt.
mm,
But yeah. I don't know. The Sharks are one of those teams where it's like maybe they'll be worth it to stay up till 10:30 to watch. Like maybe they'll be
mm.
worth it to stay up late to watch their games. Although I don't know, believe we did go over the Leaf schedule and we went over their brutal California West Coast road trips and stuff. So you know what? Maybe the Leafs won't beat them 9-1.
No.
That was still a fun game to watch, though.
Yeah.
That was an incredibly fun game to watch. I do remember that.
Mm,
Also led to maybe my best podcast episode title.
You're gonna have to remind me.
That was the episode I call it California Girls. I was very proud of myself for like a week afterwards.
No, you should still be very proud of that. That was very creative. Very slur of you.
Oh, because you know what that game was? The I eventually stopped taking notes because it got to like 7-1. I was like, this is getting a little mean. But it was the one where Benoit got his first point, I think, because I wrote it in all caps in my notes. Benoit assist.
Oh, what a time. I remember when everyone lost their minds over that, and I was like, oh, Benny.
Like Pontus Holmberg scored.
What a game.
Jake McCabe, it was a Jake McCabe offensive powerhouse game. He also scored.
Oh, huge day for us then.
Huge day for me. Jake McCabe offensive powerhouse.
Oh.
I started I don't know why I started calling him that, and then I just kept calling him that every time he scored, and then eventually it caught on everyone. But it's time we talk about something else that's not as exciting or fun. The Edmonton Oilers. I want to talk about this trade so badly because the way this had everyone going WTF, especially when I don't think I sent this to you because I think I sent it into the Offside Discord. Sorry.
I see how it is.
But so it's Ryan McLeod. You cannot call a friend of the show Offside News.
The other woman.
The other woman. Jesus Christ. Wow.
Please don't leave me for them.
Could never.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, but Ryan so sorry, I should not be laughing while I read this out.
No.
Ryan McLeod was traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the Buffalo Sabres, along with oh my God, what's his name? Ty Tullio. In exchange for Matt Savoy, who was selected 9th overall in the 2022 draft by the Buffalo Sabres, who played in the WHL for Moose Jaw. So he went to the Mem Cup because Moose Jaw won the dub. They got the dub, and nope, not gonna finish that sentence. No. You saw where that was going too, didn't you?
That's bad, and that's coming from me.
It's because I saw Simon yesterday. He said something absolutely horrific at the dinner table.
Oh no. How horrific are we talking?
The fact that even his parents commented on how bad it was. And he's gonna hate me for saying this in the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is, I just want to read off his stats in the WHL because this is absolutely ridiculous. I was like looking at this and I literally had to double check my math about 7 different times because he had played for he had gotten traded mid-season to Moose Jaw, but in 34 games in the WHL, he scored 71 points.
What? No way.
I am opening up his hockey TV page again because I actually still have to double check my math.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 1 + 2 is 3. 1 + 3 is 4. That's 34. And then 4 + 7, 11. Carry the 1, 70, 71.
Mental math
right? Yeah.
with Emma.
I'm so good.
Who needs calculus?
I did take first-year calculus in university. Then I changed my major, so...
I don't blame you. GCSE maths was bad enough.
Oh, you didn't even do math for your A levels. Oh.
No. Emma, I was bottom set maths. You think they'd let me do A-level maths?
No, I took grade 12 calculus, and then because I thought I needed it for school, and then I changed it. Anyways, doesn't matter. Isn't that absolutely insane?
That's not real.
Isn't that absolutely mental?
Like, what? How is that like?
That's like Gretzky level, like point per game.
Like,
Hold on,
how
what
is
is the point per game on that?
Mm,
You waffle about how insane it is. I'll do the math.
that's I'm not. Oh, your jaw just dropped. Emma's jaw just dropped, guys.
Hold on, I just want
Jaw
to
on the
double check.
floor. But no, that
71 divided by 34, yeah, divided by the number. That's over 2 points a game!
that
Dog! What is Buffalo doing? And then, okay, because then people are gonna be like, well, how do you know that necessarily his production will convert over to like the professional, blah, blah, blah. In 6 games with the Rochester Americans in the AHL, he scored 2 goals, had 3 assists. That's mad respectable.
that's like
He had 1
Listen.
game with the Buffalo Sabres, did not score any goals, did not score any points. But again, also, not everyone can score 4 games on debut. So, but yeah, mad. This is
no,
ridiculous.
you know how when a big event happens and everyone's like you know when One Direction broke up and then everyone's like, oh, I remember where I was when One Direction broke up. I'm forever gonna remember where I was when Ryan McLeod was traded to Buffalo. And in answer to that question, I was a bottle and a half of wine deep, crouched next to my tent, going, what the F word? Because I'm not gonna swear all the time. I was like on FaceTime to you because I didn't believe it was real.
No, well, because did you call me or did I call you?
I don't know. I might have.
Oh no, because I kept texting you about
You
7
texted
different
me.
times.
Yeah,
Oh,
because my
what?
phone was on Do Not
I just
Disturb.
opened your text that you sent me today, this morning for the first time on my phone. It's like, what the fuck?
It's never a dull day when I'm around.
Oh yes, it was Friday. It was Friday at 4:05 p.m. And I go, Marcie, in all caps, by the way, Marcie, check your phone with a typo. There's a typo at the end of that. It's an R instead of an E. Marcie with 4 E's. And then you go 4 minutes later, hello, what happened? There's a typo there. Who died? And then I go, Clouder to Buffalo. What? For Matt Savoy. No, oh my God. There's a lot of typos there. Expletive. No, he's not. What? Elliot Freeman just tweeted it. And then I sent you a picture of his stats. Matt Savoy stats, where I'm like, look at this, absolutely ridiculous. Yes. Also, to compare the points per game of Matt Savoy, Connor Bedard last year with the Giant St. Pat's, where he scored 143 points, crazy, had a point per game of 2.5. That also is Connor Bedard.
Yeah,
who is
also clickbait.
A little mental child.
A little clickbaity title for you. Ryan McLeod sprained my ankle. Because had Ryan McLeod not got traded, I wouldn't have had as many drinks as I did. Therefore, I wouldn't have met the guy that tripped me over and put me in the situation I'm currently in.
You would have been asleep at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, the thing is, I was
You were
about
to go to sleep, and then I called you and you were like, what is it? I'm about to go to sleep. I do remember this conversation.
No, because it hit 2 a.m. I was about to go to bed, and then I was like, wait, I need a drink. I'm gonna go get some water. So I went to get some water. I met the friend of the guy who tripped me up on the way to get the water. And then me and my friend ended up just going and like drinking with them.
There you go. Oh my! So you're blaming this all on Kevin Adams?
Yes.
Yes, I'm blaming this on Kevin Adams because Kevin Adams was the one who made Matt Savoy available to the Oilers. What are we doing making the Oilers better? Why? Why are we doing this? Why are teams letting the Edmonton Oilers get better?
You've got to look for like the little victories in a situation like this, which is at least Ryan McLeod is bringing up the vibes in Buffalo right now because they're not great.
But, no, they're not great.
But the Sabres are now
James
getting a whimsy little guy.
Yeah, no, but like that, it's the fact, and this is the part that like this was like the tweet that I thought that I didn't send you, that I sent somewhere else, was that Kevin Adams was the one who reached out to the Edmonton Oilers and told them that Matt Savoy was available for trade. And all he got in return was Ryan McLeod. No offense to Ryan McLeod, but it's Ryan McLeod. He is definition bottom six Blurbo.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is, and I love him for it. But I was like,
the ceiling for Matt Savoy, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, he hasn't played much pro. Well, yeah, no, he's played 7 professional games. And before you look at how unproven he is at the NHL level. He's played 1 NHL game. Not every 18-year-old, actually, no, not every 19-year-old kid is going to be Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You can't expect.
Not every kid is going to score 4 goals on debut.
You can't
and then his team still lose. Because no one else could score any goals, and they allowed more than 4.
Oh, God. What a... Oh, Leafs. Gotta love him.
But yeah, no, like, it's just one of those things where, like, Matt Savoy's ceiling is like a first, second line center. It's top 6 center. That's his ceiling, which is a pretty high ceiling. And you're trading him? I don't understand the Buffalo Sabres.
No, and as well, it's like, after the absolute shit show of the last week for Buffalo, you're still trading him? Like, in the nicest way possible, you've lost more than you've gained.
Because I saw a lot of people trying to rationalize it, being like, oh, well, you know, we really needed, like, bottom 6. Like, we need guys in the bottom 6. You couldn't have signed someone in the past week?
Yeah.
Like you were meant to? Like, there's tons of bottom 6 guys still available.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, you wouldn't then have to give up a highly touted prospect. I'm sure there's probably more going behind the scenes that we're not privy to, potentially. But, like, free agents. Let's see who is available.
Like, I just... What is
like
going
a
on?
Solid, like, bottom 6 guy. Oh, look, Kyle Pozo. Donna Kubalik could play bottom 6. He wasn't half bad bottom 6 with Ottawa. Daniel Sprong, he's bottom 6. Taylor Yamamoto.
Sign Yams.
I don't know, Rem Pitlick.
Yeah. Like, there's no shortage.
JVR.
Like, it's not like we're in a shortage. There's plenty of guys out there.
I could go on for probably 6 more pages scrolling through and looking at free agents who are you could put in your bottom 6. I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't understand Kevin Adams, and I'm sure he probably thinks he has this huge like mastermind of a plan where he's like, this is how we win, this is how we make the playoffs, blah blah blah, Stanley Cup. I'm like, well, sure.
It's like you can have
I
a
just think
plan, but plans are often like delusional.
I also just think like you have 2 number 1 defensemen who play on the same side.
Like maybe, like surely you think about things like this before you just make random trades that just don't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like there's other issues in Buffalo, and
Yep.
Ryan McLeod will not solve them.
No.
Um,
But I hope he has fun in Buffalo.
yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, it means I get to watch him more because, like,
Yeah,
I
you don't have to watch like Edmonton Oilers games.
well, the thing is, I don't even mind watching the Oilers, but I think the reason I didn't mind watching them is because Ryan McLeod was playing. Like, I enjoyed watching the Oilers, but also it's late for me. I'm not staying up for that. So it's like now I get to watch Ryan McLeod play hockey at a time that's like still late, but slightly less
It's at your like
detrimental to my
normal
sleep
hockey time.
schedule.
It's
Yeah,
at your
it's just
normal
like
hockey watching time.
my average little hockey time.
Yeah. So we have some broadcast news, which I'm
Mm.
personally a big fan of, actually, if you know my personal gripe on regional blackouts and inaccessibility of watching hockey.
Whoa,
Um,
Emma, you've never said anything about that before. I wonder what your thoughts and feelings could be.
the Dallas Stars announced that they have left television and are going all in on free in-market streaming. So if
Yay!
you live in the Dallas Stars TV market, it will be free to watch the games for watch the team for the next 7 seasons. They're also leaving terrestrial television. They announced the creation of Victory Plus, a new direct-to-consumer platform that will stream live games in market starting during the 24-25 season. The Stars, so because I didn't know what the Dallas Stars TV market was, because I was like, I only know the Canadian ones. Consists all of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So I do not know if we have any listeners who live in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. If we do, I would love to know.
Yeah, please let us know because it's fun to find out where people are listening from, and B, huge day for you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, other teams have left RSNs, which are registered sports networks, regional sports networks in the past 2 seasons. The Stars are first going all in on the streaming and free element. Like no other team, Panthers left Bally branded networks last week and worked on a deal with Scripps, which is going to be a in streaming market platform, and then also as well the Vegas Golden Knights and the Arizona Coyotes did something similar with Scripps last year, but that's still like you have to pay. The interesting one here, though, that I think is interesting is that regional sports network contracts account for a large portion of NHL teams' revenue. Is like the purchase of TV rights, some higher and some lower, depending on the market, obviously. So I don't know how the Stars are going to like make up that money, because that's a lot of money that you have to make up in some way.
Yeah. But like it'll be interesting.
The Stars will have to sell their own advertising to fill advertising blocks, because there will still be TV timeouts, because like the other teams broadcast will probably be regional or national. And and work directly with sponsors, but they will also expect overall viewership to go up. Obviously, like the thing is, like, it is purely digital, so it's like you're losing that, like, the only way you can access. So basically, that's all the basis information. Now, here's where I get into it as like media studies and someone who has looked into sports viewership and things like that and has like researched it a lot. The thing that makes like the easiest way to get people into watching your sport is to have it on and have it so that it's very easy for people to find it. So if you have it where it is on a, this is why I'm a big fan of the CBC partnering with Rogers so that they can still broadcast 2 Canadian games a week on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, because you keep the ability to access that market of people who only access public service networks, which is what the CBC is. It's right. So it's not, and that's been the problem in recent years, has been the privatization of sports and sports viewership, because it then makes it very inaccessible for fans to access it, like such as like, then you get into the discussion of media regional blackouts and things like that piss me off. But besides the point, the big thing is that like you will have to do additional like you will lose the people who are channel flipping through and will stumble across the game, right? You will miss for people who live within the Dallas Stars region, so which is the South, right? You will miss the people who are, flipping through the channels and come across the game on TV and are like, ooh, this looks exciting. Maybe I'll watch this. And then that's how they get into hockey. So you have to then rely on growing the game through other avenues, which would be like social media, which is very easy now, and the Dallas Stars have a great social media team. They do. So they have that going for them, but it's like if other teams are looking towards this, they also have to look into how they can garner and grow viewership, because that's what's going to be one of the main things in then keeping, because you are probably going to lose fans this way, because you would have to have a smart TV, or like some people would only be able, if you don't have a smart TV, which some people don't, you would have to then watch it like on your laptop. So you would lose maybe an older portion of your fan base who is maybe not as technologically savvy and was really much relying on having a channel included in their cable package. Which is one of the things that, like, when teams go towards this over-the-top, over-the-counter, over-the-top service, which is what this is, which is what streaming services are, it's a very delicate game that you have to play in balancing, making sure that it helps you grow your viewership and grow your fan base, while also you're not leaving behind demographics of fans who maybe aren't able to do this. Luckily, they have tons of notice. They made this announcement today. So there's like, season doesn't start for like 90 days plus. You have 3 months, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that your fan base is well aware and make sure that they can get themselves acquainted with figuring out how to download an app on their smart TV, which my parents, who are not that old, like they're mid-50s, do not know how to do.
No.
Right? Like that's the sort of thing you have to think about, is like, especially when, and I think I said this when like the deal between Rogers and Amazon was announced, where like Monday night hockey nights would be on Amazon Prime. Is I said this, I was like, I'm gonna get a text from my parents the first game, where it's like the first night it's a Leafs game, and they're gonna be like, where's the game? Like it's not on Sportsnet, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to explain to them where it is. Like luckily my parents are like pretty okay with navigating that. Like it's happening already with like Friday Night Baseball, where like a game of like every Friday night there's a game that's on Apple TV. Plus, which my mom absolutely despises because she hates the commentators, but that's maybe like 1 or 2 Jays games a season out of 162. Whereas
Yeah.
like this is like the Canadian, it like rotates through it's Canadian only matchups, I believe, or it's not Canadian only matchups. Like Amazon Prime put out a graphic where it was like this, and I think I sent it, and it was like a graphic, and it was of all of the. I feel like scroll through all of the draft stuff and everything because I think it was like they announced it at some point. I just don't know where exactly it was, and I don't remember exactly what account it was. I just remember seeing it.
Yeah. I hate when that happens when it's like there's a tweet I need to find. I know exactly what it was, but I
Oh,
can't
now
remember
I've gone too far
where.
back because now I've gone back into like Pedo Ishell stuff that we talked about like 3 weeks ago. If I go Amazon Prime Canada, or like Prime Video, because it's not called Amazon, it's called Prime Video Canada. There we go. And I just have to like scroll back through. Oh, here we go. Found it. Yeah, so it's not just all Canadian matchups. It's like Canadian and American matchup, but it is Canadian teams who I believe it's like the Canadian teams are the home teams potentially. I would have to like double check. Actually, no, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's like the Canadian teams are the home teams. Yeah, they are. So, like the Leafs have quite a few games. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games. Fairly scattered through, actually, will admit. That are on Prime, but I don't know. It won't like change anything for people who like who watch the Leafs who watch those teams outside of Canada, but it's just another like luck, like unless you already pay for Prime, it's just another subscription service you have to get. So
Yeah.
which is nice that this one is free. That's what I will say that for the Dallas Stars is like it is free, which is good.
Yeah. Massively.
Which will say is a plus for this because it's then you don't have to worry about convincing people to be like, hey, no, like it's not. I know it's like not included in your like you have to pay for something outside of your cable package, but like it's actually totally free. You just have to download it, like go to a website, download an app or whatever. But
Then you're sorted.
then you're sorry, but you do have to be within the region. So if you are, but I know like there's like NHL TV or whatever. I don't know what the Americans have. I do know the Canadians have like, you have TSN Plus or if you're in region and then Sportsnet as well, Sportsnet Plus, which is a ridiculous amount of money. I've looked into getting it before with like regional blackout games and I like look at the price every single time I think about it and I'm like, no.
Nope.
Yeah. You know what I realized? I don't think we ever talked about it. Did we ever talk about the Four Nation rosters?
No, we didn't.
We didn't, and that's because they were announced. I was on a train when they got announced, I believe.
Yeah, I think they got lost in the chaos of just like
that weekend.
Yeah. Like the fact that we didn't record for like a week.
Yeah, we didn't record for a week. We did record that 20 minutes has never seen the light of day.
Please burn it.
I'm one day gonna listen to it and see if there's like any funny little clip I can pull out of it, but I don't think there is because it's so unlistenable.
No, it's just me crying about the fact that I dropped my orange chicken on my bed.
That was a very funny story.
Yeah. My little like
the thing is like the problem is that I would have kept that in there and then I would have titled it Orange Chicken.
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell the orange chicken story really quickly because I feel like it is entertaining, even though it will never see the light of day, like as it happened. But basically, I got some orange. We went to a Chinese shop, Chinese takeaway. I got some orange chicken and chips. I put the orange chicken and chips on a plate. I was sat in my room about to eat it. I was really tired. I had a nap before my orange chicken eating it, but I kept the orange chicken on my bed. So then I woke up from my like power nap, and I had orange chicken on my bed, and it was really funny when it happened because then I just had to be like, I'm gonna have to sleep like this. I think I just ended up wrapping myself in a blanket and just going, I'm dealing with this tomorrow. But that was the
Um,
orange chicken story
yeah.
that will never see the light of day.
Oh, you guys will never get the original retelling of that. But so Four Nations, they announced the rosters, and I realized we never talked about it. Oh, you know where I was when they announced them? I was out for brunch because I had my phone flipped over in case there was any like trade news or anything leading up to the draft at
Mm,
brunch, and then I had to like explain the concept of the tournament to my friends who I was out for brunch with, and I felt very rude because I kept looking at
no.
my phone at brunch. It was my friends from high school. They understood, they get it, like they know of the podcast and like everything, and they understood that like it was a very busy weekend for me in general because of like hockey content and stuff. So like they
Mm,
understood. I just still felt very, very rude.
yeah. I'd
I
be saying, I'm like,
do
I'm
not
so
know.
sorry.
I do not know how like beat reporters or like insiders do it because it's like I think it maybe like, you know, you'd like they'd be like, oh well, I know like because of your job, but
Mm. I
yeah.
feel really bad, like, if I had plans with someone and then I just got a text and it was like, oh, like, big trade's about to
You're Kevin
happen.
Weeks, and it's like you're out with your children at the aquarium, and you get a text being like Joseph Wool, they sign a 3-year
And then
contract
you just
extension.
you have to go,
You have to
sorry,
go to
kids,
a corner of you have to be like, sorry kids, dad's gotta dad's gotta do some work real quick. And you go to the corner of the aquarium and you have your high obnoxious angle that only shows the top of your head. And you have to explain Leafs goaltender Joseph.
you just like, you turn to your kids and you go, sorry, kids, but if you want to eat tonight, I've got to go do.
I gotta go get those engagement numbers. This one's gonna do well.
Your Joker just sits back after he's filmed it and just watches it and goes, you know what? This is some of my best work.
Like, I wonder if the like obviously I feel like members of like hockey media have to know this. It's like I wonder if they know that like when they talk about certain like and like not superstar players, like because you know like like anytime you talk about like Matthews, like Sidney Crosby, like McDavid or whatever, like it's guaranteed to do really well because that's just the nature of talking about those players. But like I wonder if they know that like there's certain like not superstar guys who like they know are really well liked by like a team's fan base or whatever. Like I wonder if they know about the existence of bottom six florbos. Like they know like when they talk about a certain player, there's gonna be a bunch of people who are gonna go absolutely feral.
No, do you reckon like they go to tweet something about Joseph Ford and they go, I wonder how long it's gonna take that Marcie bitch to quote this
The
like 10
Leafs
times.
beat reporters absolutely know who we are. David Alter
we
is probably sick of us.
we we appear in David Orr's nightmares. He
I
wakes
will
up in the
say,
middle of the
David,
night.
as much as people criticize David Alter for him pulling like media availability quotes out of context, he is a fantastic TikTok follow.
Oh my god, I love his TikToks so much. His little
He
food reviews, little media meals.
his media meal reviews, the one review he did of the spiced Coca-Cola that actually influenced me to go out and buy Coca-Cola. I will admit it, I was influenced by David Alter.
Like, I'm sorry, David, soon enough he's gonna be moving to LA, getting all these brand deals.
Like
David Alter influencer era.
David Alter is a solid TikTok follow. Highly recommend you follow David Alter on TikTok.
It's like every single time he posts, it's just me and you. We send the video like at the exact same time. It's like David.
David Alter post another. But yeah, so they announced on June 25th. Not so on June 25th, John Cooper was named Canada's head coach, by the way. Slay. Absolute slay. Way to go, John Cooper. Because he's a great coach. And he was supposed to be the head coach. Bless you. He was supposed to be the head coach for Team Canada for the 2022 Olympics, but then the NHLers couldn't go, so then he couldn't go, which is unfortunate. But then he's also then was named. He also will be the head coach at the 2026 Olympics. But on June 28th, they then spewed out all of the first 6 players of the Four Nation rosters. So for Team Canada, Sidney Crosby, shocker.
Whoa, no
Nathan
way.
McKinnon, what a surprise. Cale Makar, Brad Marchand, Connor McDavid, and Braden Point. Am I the only one that has me like, maybe it's because I forget how good Braden Point is. He surprised me.
No, I think it's like, yes, he's good, but it's like seeing him next to like
yeah, that's the problem. There's two tiers here. There's 2 tiers of players here right now. There's like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Connor McDavid, and then there's Brad Marchand, Braden Point. There's 2 tiers. All of them good hockey players, but it's like you look at like, especially because they list it because it's like alphabetical order, so it goes like McDavid Point. Like seeing like Point under McDavid's name, you're like, ooh.
Like you're just like, oh, okay, that's a choice.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is like, it like when it's like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Fork found in kitchen. You think they're going anywhere without each other?
The thing is, it's like they're gonna run that line, and the problem is they're gonna like run the full Nova Scotia line because they're also gonna run Brad Marchand on that line as well.
Oh god, I can't.
We're gonna have to have Brandy on the show closer to Four Nations to talk about the Nova Scotia line.
Yes,
they'll love it.
We need an in-depth discussion of the Nova Scotia line.
Yeah. I think we'll see. I have some dreams for Four Nations in terms of the coverage that we provide. So we'll see if we get that. Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so Team Finland, yeah, notably no goalie named for Team Canada, which is not surprising because it's going to be like underwhelming, unfortunately.
It's going to be me. Surprise, guys.
Yeah, but so Finland, the head coach is Antti Pananen, who is the head coach. He's like the go-to head coach for the men's national junior program. Yeah, he's like a head coach in the Finnish Liga as well.
Okay.
But yeah, and then Jared Lantinen, and then yeah, it's like, anyways, Finland, Sebastian Aho, the Carolina Hurricanes won. That has to be specified because
it does.
Because who was it that signed the Islanders, Sebastian Aho, over the weekend, like last week? And I skipped.
The panic.
I skipped over the New York. I just went Sebastian Aho signed here, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
I was like, no.
I was like, and then I had to go back and I had to read from the New York Islanders. Because I just went Sebastian Aho signed and I didn't read the in between. So Sebastian Aho, Alexander Barkov, Miro Heiskanen, Esa Lindell, Mikko Rantanen, and Jussi Saros. Evil. That's a good top. That's a good first 6.
Yeah.
And then Sweden, who has not announced their head coach as of yet. I don't even know who like their front office is. They don't even have that information on Wikipedia, but so I don't know. But yeah, so Team Sweden, Philip Forsberg, Gustav Forsling, Victor Hedman, who just signed a fancy new contract, William Nylander, Erik Karlsson, and Mika Zibanejad. Hot.
Very.
That's hot. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on. USA, which is managed by Bill Guerin. It's coached by Mike Sullivan. What they named Charlie McAvoy, Jack Eichel, Adam Fox, who got married this past weekend, Quinn Hughes, Austin Matthews, and Matthew Tkachuk.
Whoa, shocker.
There's like no surprises here. That's the thing. I think like even I was like, you're discussing this and like there's no surprises. And I think, the only one is like Canada could have put anyone in that like sit in that Braden Point spot. Like there's a number of players who you could have put there.
Yeah.
Right. In that Braden Point spot where it just like who are still gonna make the team anyways at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. Like you could argue you could put Mitch Marner there. Right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
You could there's definitely I'm trying to think off the top of my head for Canadian guys who like are these like 6. But like you could argue, I don't know, Steven Stamkos could go there. It's like one of those things where it's like
it's very like interchangeable with
because there's tiers. It's not like it's a definite like 1 through whatever ranking, but there's tiers of players, right?
Yeah.
So, I did think it interesting. The only team that named a goalie is Finland. In their first 6, which like
I give us I want goalies.
Yeah, that's the thing where I'm like I was actually kind of surprised. Like it makes sense. Like maybe like those are very like I think Team USA has some very good goalies to their availability. They have 3 right away, right?
Yeah.
Hellebuck, Demko, Hunter.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's your decision, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you could, especially Hellebuck as well had such a fantastic season. That's no winning. You could have like slotted, but then then it becomes a question of like, well, who do you take out, right? Out of that top 6. Do you take out Charlie McAvoy? No. You take out Jack Eichel? No. You take out Adam Fox? Would you take out Adam Fox? Did you take out Quinn Hughes? No, that dude just is Norris nominated. Did you take out Austin Matthews? Absolutely not. Did you take out Matthew Tkachuk? No, he just won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, so it's like
right. So like that's where it becomes. But I don't know. I'm just really excited. I just wanted to bring it up because I realized we never went over those top 6 rosters. I don't know when they'll announce the full rosters. The tournament starts February 12th. I'm sure I don't know if there will be like a training camp beforehand, or any of that. We'll see. It's hard.
I'm really excited for it. I can't wait.
I think the break, quote unquote break, starts the 9th. But the problem is, I don't know if Six Nation camps will start that day. They might start the 10th, or not camps, but at least practices.
Yeah.
Because the Leafs are in Vancouver on the 8th, and they play a game at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you're going like against the time that way as well,
Mm.
coming back. But like I said, they still have a brutal,
Yeah.
brutal February.
Mm.
Canadian West Coast road trip, which did not go well for them last year. And then home game against Carolina, and then Chicago, Boston, New York, all away. And that's your month of February.
It's just a rough one. Not a fun one.
No.
No.
So
good luck to them. Be thinking of them.
Nothing. Just arbitration filings. The arbitration list was announced for restricted free agents who are choosing to file arbitration, meaning the amount for their contract will be dictated by a third party lawyer, usually I don't know exactly how you get qualified to be someone who decides arbitration numbers. Would not want to have that job though, because I would just be like, oh, you're a fun fourth little line blurbo. All the money.
You'd be like, oh, you're a girly. What do you want? Double it.
But yeah, so also as well, there was like club elected salary arbitration, which no teams went for. This was all player arbitration. Here, salary arbitration hearings will be held from July 20th to August 4th. So, yeah. But a player can sign a contract with his current team anytime before his hearing. So just because a player signed through arbitration doesn't necessarily mean that he will go through with his hearing. It does just give some like reassurance that yes, you will receive a contract.
Yeah.
For your team. But yeah, so yeah, there's hearing dates have not been yet announced, but here's the list of players, 14 players who filed for arbitration for Buffalo Sabres. Beck Mallinston, as well as Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for the Carolina Hurricanes, Jack Drury and Martin Necas for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Jake Christensen, Jet Greaves, and Kirill Marchenko for the Detroit Red Wings, Joe Bellino for the Nashville Predators, Spencer Stastny for the New York Islanders, Oliver Wahlstrom for the New York Rangers, Ryan Lindgren for the San Jose Sharks, Ty Emberson for the Tampa Bay Lightning, JJ Moser, and for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Connor Dewar. I did pretty well running through those names. I'm very impressed with myself that I got through that list.
Well done.
Thank you. I thought I was going to stumble on that a little bit, but yeah, there's not, I think like maybe the big main one is that Jeremy Swayman did not file for arbitration, but he did say after going through arbitration last year that he doesn't want to ever do that again.
I mean,
but it does though mean that it's like the Boston Bruins and also as well Jeremy Swayman feel very confident that they can reach an agreement on his contract. Which you kind of have to if you don't want your starting goaltender to be Jonas Korpisalo come game one because you do not have a contract in place with Jeremy Swayman after trading away Linus Ullmark.
That's my issue with it. It's like, I'm not being funny, but you're going to trade away Linus Ullmark before you have Jeremy Swayman happy with the contract.
Like that's the other thing too. I'm like, I wonder what the holdup is. Right, because it's like I guess like before Linus Ullmark got traded, I guess you could, there is some debate of like he could be like, well, I think I'm your number one, but the Boston Bruins could be like, well, actually, no, you're not truly our number one starter, right? But now you don't have like now it's now you're committing to Jeremy Swayman being your number one starter, and he's obviously proved that he's a very good goalie. Why are you not paying him like one so you can lock him up through his prime years?
Yeah, because it's like it's all like I get the whole like, oh, if we trade Ullmark, then like he'll know we want him, and it's like, like he knows you want him now, but why? Like,
I
what is
don't,
the
unless
issue?
it's like some absurd difference in numbers where it's like Boston Bruins are like, we're gonna offer you 4, but Jeremy Swayman's like, no, I want closer to 8.
Yeah, it's like
Like
unless it's
I
something.
don't see him asking for more than 8.
No.
Reasonably, I think he would be somewhere in the 6 to 7. Very similar
Mhm.
contract to UC Saros.
Yeah, literally, that's
Personally,
like.
I think it would be like in my head, I'm thinking what is reasonable is a very similar contract to UC Saros because
Mm,
you know he's been able to showcase like how good he is as a player,
yeah,
but also at the same time, like he's not Sorokin. You're not signing him to a
yeah,
Sorokin deal. Does Sorokin?
yeah. No.
Sorokin has a Vesna, right?
Mm,
I think he does. Oh, he's a finalist. Thank you, NHL.com.
oh, yeah, thank you, NHL.com. It's just come up for me.
He was a finalist 2 years ago.
Mm,
No, sorry, he was a finalist last year for Linus Ullmark.
uh, right. But it's like, I don't get what the holdup is unless it's like a huge numbers thing. But it's like, I don't want to say like, sign him because who else are you going to sign? But like, at the same time, sign him because who else are you going to sign?
Yeah. Actually, no, legitimately. Like,
Like,
yeah, Ilya Sorokin, like, you're not going to sign him to 8.25, which is Sorokin's contract, but like,
like the thing is, he's very much proven that he is worth essentially what he wants, as long as it's like a reasonable sort of number. But it's like he's proven that he's worth a lot.
also as well, they have 8.6 million cap space.
Mm,
And you have 14 forwards and 7 defensemen, so you have to sign another defenseman. Do you? Not really.
mm,
Probably should. I'm actually no, now I look at their blue line, it's actually kind of ridiculous. I forgot they have Zadorov.
do
So it's like McAvoy, Lindholm, Zadorov, Carlo, Peaky, Lorai, and Witherspoon is your 7th.
oh,
That's solid.
that's yeah.
So then you also have 14 forwards,
Mm,
which like
just just pay the man.
and
Like,
then yeah, and then so then you have 8.6 in cap space. I don't understand why it's taken this long to get Jeremy Swayman signed to a contract.
no. And so like my other issue with it is like if they're being this difficult with like signing him to a contract, like he's not gonna want to do all this again. Like he will just go find somewhere else and he'll be like, well, I don't like how you've handled it. I'm not doing this again. See you. Like,
And I actually, because I'm doing some further, I'm on Puckpedia, which has a really fun little thing where you can see the player's agent. I love this tool. It's my favorite thing to look through. And I'm looking through it and I don't want to like I don't want to blame oh, that's not what I wanted to click on. I don't want to blame the agent. His agent is Louis Gross. But some of the other players who are under who work with him, I think that are going to be very telling about maybe why this is taking a little bit longer. Now he is Shane Pinto, um, William Nylander, Johnny Gaudreau, Alex Nylander,
mm,
Rasmus Sandin.
yeah,
Molachari, I didn't know they used the same agent. But
I see.
hopefully for the Boston Bruins' sake. Actually, no, because we're Leaf fans. This would be hilarious if it turns into another William Nylander situation. Where you have fucking Don Sweeney going up to Alaska to, like, beg Jeremy Swayman.
Just knock on his door like, Jeremy, please, I've come all this way. Please.
I think that's the funniest, because I know Jeremy Swayman spends most of his summer actually, like, in Boston. He was actually at the Bruins practice rink today, getting some work in. I saw on Twitter, but, like, I think it would be the funniest thing imaginable if it's Don Sweeney having to go up to Alaska or wherever, I don't know, Yukon, because Nylander was in Switzerland, and, like, beg him to sign a contract like Kyle Dubas did.
He just rocks up, papers in hand, like, I've got a pen if you need one.
Like, that's the, like, but so, like, that's the thing. And also as well, like, Shane Pinto as well, like, Louis Gross is no stranger to this this contract. The contract dance, I guess I should say, tango. I don't know how else. There was a word I was looking for and I could not find it.
Oh dear.
But yeah, so
It'll be an interesting one to see
yeah,
what happens.
will be a very interesting one. I don't know. I just, like, because I was like, ooh, I wonder, like, because I was looking at Jeremy Swayman's Puckpedia page, and so I was like, oh, I wonder, like, what agent he's with, and I, like, clicked on the name, and I, like, did a little scroll, and I was like, right at the top is Liam Nylander. I was like, oh, here we go. It is not Louis Gross. It's not Louis Gross's first time doing this specific thing.
Not his first rodeo.
No, it is not. But yeah.
Ah, dear. But no, in conclusion, pay Jeremy Swayman what he wants, please, because if not, you're a bit screwed.
Yeah, like, I laugh a little bit because it's like you're having to start, like, Jonas Corposalo. Like, call up Brandon Bussey. I don't know. I also as well, like, Buffalo could be kind of screwed as well with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But yeah, that'll all be arbitration, but
yeah, I
know you're really passionate about Buffalo and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and we've had this rant before, and I know you want to do it again with the added context of adding that Buffalo signed James Reimer, and that James Reimer is not going to be as great of a third goalie as Eric Comrie was, because he's going to feel more entitled to getting starts than Eric Comrie did, but I do not want to hear it. Partially because we've had the same conversation about 3 different times in the past.
Can I do, like, a little
month?
spark notes?
And did I not just sum it up very well about what you were going to complain about?
You did. So I need. Look, Emma, I need to get to, like, give me 30 seconds. Please. As a treat. I've had a rough week. Please let me complain. Pay the man what he wants. I don't understand. Like, I'm not being funny. Freaking timer. I'm not being funny. They are not in a position where they can go, oh, yeah, you know what? Hi, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. You were really good for us last year. We don't want to pay you. I'm not. If I'm Rebecca Lucan, I'm just saying, you know, fuck you. I'm off. Also, I miss Eric Connery so bad.
He's in Winnipeg now.
Yeah, he might as well be dead.
He's with Mason Shaw.
Yeah, and like,
because that was a decision. I do not ask me who's going to be on Minnesota's bottom line. I do not know. I do not know what their bottom six is going to look like.
It's going to be us.
At this point, literally, Bill Gurrin, your bottom four. Bill Gurrin, your bottom six. Wake up, Bill Gurrin. Yeah, that was all today I wanted to cover. We have quite a long episode already, though.
We've had a lovely little natter.
We did. We've got one episode left.
And I personally truly devastated that we will not hit episode 69.
We will hit it in September.
Yeah, and September's like time away. It's a while.
Or like watch me like record like 4. Have to record 4 while you're on your dig. Because like the NHL decides to blow up.
If you record episode 69 without me, I think that genuinely might be the end of the podcast. That's grounds for like divorce.
With that being said, I think we'll end it here. We'll be back on Thursday with the last episode of the season. Thank you so much for listening. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's fourth with the number 4th. You can follow Marcie at 60 You can follow myself at PairB1. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back. Bye-bye. Why did I say that?